Okay, Taylor, we're going to compare you to Tiger Woods. Um, Setup looks pretty good. One of the differences I see is in how much spine angle you have, how much you tilt over. If we look at Tiger's spine tilt, he's at 49 degrees. You're standing up a little bit more upright, 10 or 15 degrees more upright. So if you were to have a 49 degree tilt, then you would be, something more like that. If you were going to be the same amount of tilt. Now maybe you don't need to tilt that much, but you might want to try to tilt just a little bit more than you currently are. That'll allow your arms to hang down under your shoulders and not have to reach out quite so much. And let your hands fall underneath your shoulders just a little bit more. Let's take it back to the 3 position. This is when the left arm is parallel to the ground, right about there. You've taken it behind you just a little bit more than Tiger. Tiger's hands are kind of still in front of his chest, and you've kind of pulled your hands behind you a little bit more. So I'd rather your hands be more in this location, ready to come up above your right shoulder. So you're turning that, you're kind of pulling your hands behind your back a little bit more than Tiger is. Take it up to the top of the backswing. Take yours up to the top. Not too bad. At the top of the backswing, at the end of the backswing, you can see how I've drawn a red line from the butt end of the handle straight down to the ground, and you can see how with Tiger, his hands are still on top. That red line passes through his body, closer to his right knee, because his hands are more above, almost above his shoulder, his right shoulder. And you have taken your hands much further behind you, and when you look at your red line straight to the ground, it's behind your back, it's behind your feet. The blue line is the direction that your elbow is pointing. The forearm from the wrist to the elbow, that line past the red line on the left side of the red line, whereas yours it's on the right side of the red line. So if we could get your hands a little bit higher, and that is coming from the initial backswing going behind you too much, so that when you lift it up to the top, it's still going to be behind you too much. And so we're going to have to reshape your backswing where you're going to take it back more towards the camera and not so what we call taking it deep behind you. So you're setting that up a little bit more above your right shoulder. Tiger's left arm is pretty much in line with his shoulders. Yours are pretty close to that as well. Now you do have a little bit of a bend here in your elbow, but that's not too bad. This is the 5 position. This is when the left arm returns to parallel. You can see how Tiger has that handle pointed right at the golf ball. As you come down, your club is pointing a little bit behind the ball. It's not really at this point, it's back here. And that came from the way you did your backswing. You weren't able to bring the club back down into a good position where you feel like you're just pulling the club right to the golf ball. Take Tiger to impact, and as you can see, his impact, you can see how his back foot is coming off the ground. His right heel is off the ground, and you're very much flat-footed as you hit the ball. And then as Tiger finishes on up, his back foot, he has all his weight on his left leg, and he just has the tip of his toe in that position. And you are flat-footed. So I went through a lot of different things. If I were to filter all that down and to just work on one thing, it would be this finish. I want you to practice finishing, rocking to the left side and finishing on your left side. And let that back foot come off the ground. and roll to the toe. Try to almost form a picture in your mind of what Tiger looks like, and just stand and pose yourself. You don't have to swing a club. See if you can just stand in a posed position, a static, still position, in that pose right there. Now I have Tiger on a face-on view, and this is video I took at the 2012 U.S. Open. I was able to get inside the ropes and with my video camera and videotape all the pros that were at the U.S. Open. And I was fortunate enough to get close enough to Tiger to get this picture. And you can see when he finishes, he's on his left leg, and this back foot is on the tip of the toe. All of his weight is on his left leg. So he just balanced himself on one leg. And so that'll be one of the things that I would want you to work on. Let me back up how he looks at when his hands are in this position. So that's kind of how he would finish right there. There's a lot of different positions of a good golf swing. And the first position I want you to work on is this final position, the 10th position, the final pose. So I want you to swing and pose and have a picture in your mind of that pose. Don't worry, and while you're training the pose, don't worry about how well you hit the ball or even if you hit the ball. Swing at the ball and pose in that perfect picture. You can't hit the ball as well as Tiger, but you can actually pose in that finish as well as any PGA player. So swing to that pose, learn the pose, swing to the pose, and that work will shape your golf swing so more pieces become fundamentally sound, not just the final piece. Now, the next time your dad videotapes your swing, ask him to do a face-on view also, not just from down the line, because that'll tell me some more things about your swing. I can't wait to see you send me a swing that has you're on your left side and you're on the tip of the toe of your back foot.